Hello everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be showing you everything that I bought whilst on my recent trip to Universal Studios in Florida. I have recently come back from a 2-week trip to Orlando, Florida, and honestly I might as well be there now because we are currently experiencing a heat wave in the UK. It is so hot right now and it feels like I haven't really left. Unfortunately though, that isn't the case. I have been back a few days now and I thought it was finally time to show you guys what I bought whilst I was over there. Now, this isn't to brag in any way, shape or form. I personally love watching these videos. I loved watching them in the run up to this trip to get an idea as to what I wanted to buy. So hopefully it helps or hopefully you enjoy it nonetheless. Now, I will say I don't feel like I bought as much in Universal as I could have. The first day we were there, I was mainly focused on getting on as many of the rides as I could because we weren't quite sure what our schedule was going to be in terms of coming back to Universal, but we did know that we wanted to do so later on in the trip. Now, we were very pleasantly surprised by Universal. We actually loved it. I feel like that is somewhere that we really do want to go back to. The rides were phenomenal, the theming was great, and the shops were also a plus because they had so much merch there, and that is why I've decided to sit down and film this video for you guys today. Unfortunately, even though we absolutely loved our time at Universal, we did only have about a day and a half there in total, as well as a full day at Epic Universe, which I will go into in a minute, but honestly, like I said, we had the best time, and because this trip was mainly a Walt Disney World trip, we hadn't really scheduled in a lot of days at Universal, and now moving forward I think we will definitely be prioritising Universal because we both loved it so much. So that is why this may be a bit of a smaller haul. Saying that though, I do have quite a bit to show you, so without further ado, let's just dive in. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is a little freebie that we got, but honestly I love it, and that is my room key to our room at the Helios Grand Hotel. I still can't believe that we stayed at the Helios. It was such an amazing experience, and the reason that we decided to do that was because we wanted to get early entry into Epic Universe. For those of you who don't know, Epic Universe is Universal's new theme park. It has 4 different worlds that you can enter, and the Helios Grand Hotel is located in the park itself. Now, because Epic Universe has just opened in May of 2025, guests that buy the 2-week pass to Universal only get 1 day there because obviously it's a new park, there is a lot of interest in it, and I guess to keep the numbers down and to keep the exclusivity of it, you are limited to having only 1 day at the park. That is unless you buy separate tickets, but I think they're about £180 for a day, and unfortunately this time around, even though we would have loved to do it, we just couldn't justify that. So as I said, we are planning to go back in the future and experience the park fully, but this time around we were limited to a day, and we decided to treat ourselves to a night at the Helios Grand Hotel because that then meant that we got early access into the park on the following day. So our first day in Universal was on the 4th of August, I believe it was. We stayed the night at the Helios and then we went into Epic Universe on the 5th with our early entry. As I said though, I did get a little freebie. This is my room card. You are allowed to keep these, and this is how you get in and out of the Helios Grand Hotel throughout the day if you are in the park, because you do need proof that you are staying at that particular hotel. Now, the Helios has a few different elements to it that we loved. It has the outside pool area, which we did spend an afternoon at. It has a rooftop bar where you can sit and look out at Epic Universe, which again we did enjoy. We spent quite a few hours on the evening of the 4th, sat up there, had a few drinks, and there was actually a lot of lightning there that night, so we sat there transfixed by the lightning over Epic Universe, and it was truly a magical experience. And then they also have their own shop. And so before even entering the park, I had actually bought myself a few things. Now, I will quickly mention, I did buy a lot of pins for this trip, and some of you are going to think I'm absolutely crazy, but those are the things that I said to myself this trip that I wanted to buy and that I allowed myself to buy in a way, because we have recently just moved into this house. I say recently, it's been over a year now, which is crazy, but in the process of moving, I realised that I was a bit of a hoarder, and I knew that anyway, but having to transport everything from my old house to this house really put it into perspective, and I didn't want to bring back things with me that would just clutter the house, and I thought that pins would be a really good way to be able to display the things that meant a lot to me, display the rides that we went on, the worlds that we visited, without taking up too much space. So I do have a load of pins to show you guys, but I think I'm going to save that towards the end of the video. Otherwise I'll be going backwards and forwards quite a bit and I feel like it would be confusing. So I'm not going to talk about the pins that I bought just yet, but I did buy a couple at that specific shop, which I will go into later on in the video. So the first thing that we bought, and I say we because it was mainly Tom that wanted this in particular, but that is the shirt that I'm wearing today. Now my hair is actually covering the logo, but I don't know if you can see there, it says Universal Epic Universe, and on the back it has the Epic Universe logo, which I will pop a picture of up on screen for you now so you can see what it looks like. But Tom and I love these types of t-shirts where you have a smaller logo on the front and then the bigger one on the back. And if I just get up to show you, this is what it looks like. So it says Universal's Epic Universe there, and as I said, it does have the bigger logo on the back. Now I love a good t-shirt, and I was planning on buying a t-shirt for myself. However, we spent the day at Universal, as I mentioned, and what we soon realised is that our clothes were absolutely filthy from that day. Tom was wearing a blue t-shirt that had black marks all over it, and I was wearing a white skirt which had the same black marks. Now we soon figured out that it was from leaning on the different railings whilst queuing for the rides, so I will just pre-warn you about that. And because of that, Tom decided he would buy a new t-shirt for Epic Universe and wear that the next day. We had only travelled to Helios with a few little bits because we were only staying the one night. We stayed at Disney's Pop Century Resort for the rest of our trip, and so we didn't want to carry too much with us. We were also aware that Universal is funny with their lockers as well, so we didn't want to bring anything that was too bulky, so we had restricted ourselves in terms of clothing items and things like that, which is why then when his t-shirt was ruined, he decided that he was going to buy a new one for himself, which is why he went for this one. I personally love it. It's in a unisex medium as well, so it does look quite nice on me, and as you can see, I have now stolen it off Tom, but it is technically his because he's the one that paid for it, but I love it just as much, and I'm probably going to wear it more than him, to be honest. In terms of the pricing, I can't quite remember off the top of my head how much this was. I did a rookie mistake guides and I threw away all the receipts before travelling back, but I think this was around $35, which I'd say is about £30. The next thing I bought is one of the cutest things ever, and as soon as I laid eyes on him, I knew that I had to purchase him, and that is this toothless keyring. How adorable is this little guy? He's even got the red section on his wing. Oh my goodness, I am obsessed. Now, for those of you who don't know, I absolutely love How to Train Your Dragon. The animated films are some of my favourites, and then recently before our trip I did go and see the new live action movie, which was phenomenal. It's basically exactly the same, so if you've watched the animated versions then you know the story, you know what's going to happen, but it was so cool seeing these guys brought to life in a different way on screen. And in Epic Universe you do have a land that is dedicated to How to Train Your Dragon. You have the Isle of Berk, and oh my goodness, I can't tell you how excited I was to go there. But as I said, I saw this guy the night before and I couldn't leave him there. I knew I wanted him. I knew that I could have bought him the day after if I wanted to, but I really didn't want to take the risk that he wouldn't be there or that I couldn't find him anywhere in the park, so I just thought that I would grab him. And it actually worked out really well because I managed to hook him onto my bum bag and wear him all day throughout the park. I will say I was actually really surprised because this one was pretty cheap. I think it was around $16, which, let me tell you, some of my pins cost more than that. So yeah, I decided to grab him there and then. I absolutely love him. I think he's one of the cutest things ever, and I will be putting him on a lot of my bags, so you should be seeing quite a lot of him. As I said, as well as that, I did also buy myself some pins, which I will show you towards the end of the video. But after our trip to the shop, it was time to go to bed and then wake up bright and early the next day and head out into the park. Again, I can't tell you how amazing it felt to walk through the lobby of the Helios and go straight into Epic Universe. It was such a magical experience. We did of course have to queue up a bit, but being saved the hassle of trying to find our own way there and also having to wait was so worth it. And of course we did get into the parks earlier as well. Now, one thing I will say about Universal is that I absolutely love the fact that they have refillable mugs. And on our trip we did go ahead and grab ourselves 2 refillable mugs from them. The first was actually this Jaws one, and it's celebrating the 50th anniversary of the film. Now I will say this one wasn't readily available everywhere. We started off our day at Islands of Adventure and we were seeing people carrying these around, and every station we went to they weren't there, and in the end I just asked them, do you please have the Jaws one? And they told me that I had to go over to Universal Studios to get this one for myself, which is exactly what we did, because for those of you who don't know, Jaws is one of my all-time favourite films. I love it so much. I have a very strange fascination with sharks, and so as soon as I saw this I knew that this is the one that I wanted to get. And basically our plan for our days in Universal was to buy ourselves one of these on the first day there and then get one at Epic Universe. That way we'd have one each and we could also refill them if we wanted to. So the way that these work is that you buy one of these for $22 at any of the kiosks. They will fill it up for you then and there as well, but there are a lot of stations dotted about the park where you can have free refills, and there are a lot of drinks. You're not really limited to which drinks you can have, and as well as that, if you don't have one of these in particular, you can still fill up your water bottle at these spots as well. Now, as I said, it was $22 for the day, and then I believe it's $12 every day after that. So what they have is a chip in the bottom, and someone at the till needs to scan it every day in order for it to connect to the machine and work for you. So do bear that in mind. You do have to pay a daily fee once you have bought this, but obviously it's a lot less than it would have been if you were buying these drinks all day. So we thought it was worth it. We drank a lot, and as I said, you could fill this with water as well, which is what we did at some points throughout the day just to make sure that we were hydrated. So like I said, we did buy this on our first day at Universal and we made very good use out of it. So much so that when we went to Epic Universe, we decided to get one of these at that park as well. Now I absolutely love this one and I think it's very special because not only does it say Epic Universe on it, if I turn you guys around, it also says grand opening on there. So I believe these are going to be a limited release. It of course has the year as well, which is 2025. As I said, the park opened in May and we went right at the beginning of August. So it had only been open a couple of months, which is crazy. And yeah, when we saw this there, we just knew that we wanted to get it. Again, it cost us $22 and then we were able to refill it throughout the rest of the day. And it is kind of nice that we have one of these each. I really wanted the Jaws cup, and then of course the Epic Universe one is very special, but definitely worth it if you're going to Universal, and it's even worth it then to pay the fee on the day to be able to refill them afterwards as well. I think I'm just going to continue to show you what I bought at Epic Universe first, and then I'll show you everything else after that. So the next items I have are both from Super Nintendo World. I was going to say that that was one of my favourite worlds there, but honestly all four are amazing. I absolutely loved each and every single one. There is one that I didn't love as much, but mainly because it only has one ride there, which is probably going to hurt some people, but it is the Harry Potter section. I feel like Mario, Berk and Dark Universe all had so much more going for them, and because of that I really did enjoy my time at those ones in particular. But as I said, this one relates to Super Mario World, and the first thing I have is this Donkey Kong cup. Now, if you've seen the Epic Universe vlog, you'll know that I, of course, bought myself this, but it wasn't empty when I bought it. I actually got myself the Donkey Kong float, which was a banana flavoured float, and it had some sort of lemonade in it and a waffle cone and everything like that. It was crazy. It actually had popcorn on it as well. And let me just tell you, that was one of the best things I ate whilst I was away. I love an artificial banana flavour. I love a banana milkshake from McDonald's. It's one of my favourite things. And so that was definitely up my street. Not so much for Tom, he didn't try any of it because he doesn't like bananas, but I had a field day with this and I opted to go for the souvenir mug as well, because you could just get it in a clear plastic cup, which cost less of course, or you could get it as a kind of souvenir thing, and that is what I opted for. I believe that this cost me $16, I may be wrong on that, but I personally think it was worth it because not only do you get such a crazy amount of food, you also get this mug, which I am unfortunately not going to be keeping. I am going to be gifting this to one of my co-workers' sons. He is obsessed with Donkey Kong, and at the time I actually wasn't planning on gifting it to him. I was just going to keep it for myself, but the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what, he's going to love this, he's going to make use out of it, it's probably going to sit in my cupboard for quite a while otherwise, and yeah, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to gift it to him and he is hopefully going to love it. And then because I decided to gift this to my co-worker's son, I of course had to get something for her daughter. Now she has two children, and yeah, as I said, I couldn't gift one child one thing and not get anything for the other. So again, at Super Nintendo World, I did decide to get her a cup. I didn't want to get them anything too different, but I did get her this Princess Peach cup. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. It's a good quality cup as well. I really like it, and I actually have the price left on this. This one was $12. I just thought this was a really cute gift idea. I am really hoping that her kids are going to love these. I mean, they should do because they're obsessed with Nintendo, and the reason that I actually thought to bring them something was because my co-worker sent me a lovely voice message where her kids were asking me to please take photos and videos whilst I was at Super Nintendo World because they love it so much. and I just think this is going to be a lovely surprise for them, and it's going to be something nice for them to have. And then as well as that, I did also get them something else. Now, I'm not in the habit of buying too many things for other people's kids because I have 2 nieces myself, and their presents always cost me a fortune because I can't stop buying things for them. But again, whilst I was at Super Nintendo World, I saw these and I thought they were really cute. Now, all they are is a bar of chocolate, but they do say Super Nintendo World on them, and they have Mario and Peach. You could actually get a load of different flavours with a load of different characters on them, but I decided to play it safe, and so I did get them the milk chocolate bar, which is the Mario bar, and the peach chocolate bar, which is a white chocolate cookies and cream bar. Of course, they're going to have them to go alongside these. I will say that they can just share these. It doesn't matter that they're Mario and Peach, but honestly, who knows if they will. I know that my nieces are very particular with sharing, so we'll see. I can't remember how much these were off the top of my head. I don't think they were too expensive, but I may be completely wrong. I feel like they were around $5 to $8, which does sound pretty pricey to be honest, but what do you expect when you're in somewhere like that? And like I said, I saw them there, I thought it was a cute little present, and yeah, I am gonna gift these to my coworker once I see her, and hopefully her kids really do like them. And then I do actually have some more chocolates to show you. They're the same type of thing from Super Nintendo World, but I do have a different one here, and these are for my other coworker's children. She has 2 sons, and again, they're obsessed with Super Mario, and I wanted to get them something from here, which is why I got them chocolate bars. Now, in case you're thinking that the present situation isn't even, I did also get some Disney plushies for them at Target, which cost about the same as the mugs for this coworker, but I'm not going to show those here because I will show them in my Walt Disney World haul, which should be up on my channel by the time you're watching this one. But yeah, I did once again get them the Mario chocolate, and I got them a Yoshi chocolate this time as well. This is what they look like. Again, the Mario one is milk chocolate, and I believe that the Yoshi one is popping candy. Again, I wanted to get the Mario because he's the face of Super Nintendo World, really, isn't he? And then I wanted to get them something a little bit different. I wasn't sure in terms of some of the flavours what they would like, so I did play it safe. I'm not sure if they're going to love the popping candy, but again, it's the thought that counts. I just wanted to get them something from there that would mean something, and yeah, hopefully they do end up really liking these. And then I think that we are starting to come to the end of this haul. I say that, it's probably going to take me about 20 minutes to get through all the pins that I bought, but whilst at Universal, I got to experience such a magical moment for me, which was stepping into Hogsmeade and seeing Hogwarts Castle for the first time. I genuinely wasn't expecting it. You go from the Jurassic World section into the Harry Potter section pretty quickly. There's a bridge that you cross and you turn to look over your shoulder and Hogwarts is there. And I will say, for a while now, I have been not hiding my love for Harry Potter, but I have suppressed it because of the author and her harmful views. I do just want to mention that I do not agree with her opinions at all. I think the way that she's gone about everything is so harmful and detrimental to people in the LGBTQ+ community, and I just don't agree with it. And so I have, like I said, suppressed my love for that core series because I didn't want it to come across as though I supported her in any way or that I agree with her opinions. I do just want to mention here, not that it's anyone's business, but I do have a cousin. My first cousin is trans. I support him fully, and I know that people like this are very harmful to themselves and the wider community. So over the last few years, it has been really hard because I tend to hyperfixate on things, and when I find things that I love, I feel it so deeply. And of course, I've grown up with Harry Potter. A lot of us have. I have read the books, I've watched all the films, and I just have such a deep connection to this world and these characters. And so of course, going to Universal, I knew that I was going to see all of this and be immersed in the world of Harry Potter, but it genuinely blew me away. The fact that I was standing firstly in Hogsmeade was insane, but then just looking over my shoulder and the Hogwarts Castle being there, I was honestly close to tears. I can't even tell you. But as I said, we were more focused on rides for that first day, and so we did go and queue for Hagrid's, which was phenomenal, might I add. but the queue was very long. I think we queued over 2 hours in the end, and I know that it can get up to 3-4 hours, which is insane. But we thought on the first day that we would do it because it's one that I obviously was desperate to go on, and Tom really wanted to go on it as well. And like I said, I feel like it was such an amazing ride, definitely worth it. And I'm really glad that we did prioritize that earlier on in the trip so that it was kind of done. We didn't have to worry about trying to get on it later on. After that, we then went on the Hogwarts Express, which again is just mind-blowing to me. And we made it over to Diagon Alley. Now, I thought Hogsmeade was amazing. Walking into Diagon Alley is a feeling that I can't describe. It was so magical. It felt like I was home, which sounds really cheesy, but again, I have such a deep connection to this world that actually being there and realizing that I could go into all these different shops that I have read about and seen in the films, it was just such a surreal experience. There is so much to take in, it is so overwhelming. So we did spend quite a while just walking around and seeing what was there. But I will say I did get dragged into Honeydukes, which is the sweet shop. And realistically, thinking back, I was a little bit stupid because I ended up buying some chocolate. I did buy a bar of butterbeer chocolate, but by the time that I'd actually purchased it and walked over to the next ride that we wanted to go on, it had all completely melted. Somehow I'd forgotten that chocolate melts very quickly and that we were in Florida, which was I think 35 degrees Celsius at that point. So the butterbeer bar didn't really make it, and I was really stressing afterwards about these next things that I'm going to show you in particular, mainly because one of them was a gift and I wanted my sister, who was the recipient, to open it and not find a pile of melted chocolate. So the things that I ended up buying were some chocolate frogs. I have gotten a few of these for myself in the past from the Harry Potter studio tour in Watford. I have been there so many times over the years. I went when it first opened in 2012, which is crazy, and then yeah, like I said, I have been quite a few times. As I said though, with the author coming out as being a shitty person over the last few years, I have kind of strayed away from it and I haven't been. And so walking into Honeydukes and seeing these was so nostalgic, and I knew that I wanted to get some for myself but also one for my sister as well. And there was actually a deal running where you could get 3 for $35, which is what I ended up doing, of course. Now the first one is actually one that I've never tried before and I haven't actually seen it before either, and it's the chocolate frog, but it's a dark chocolate frog. And I will say that I have actually opened this one and I have eaten most of it. I'm not going to show you it, but yeah, I do have the tiniest little bit left, which probably won't make it through today, to be honest. But I love the packaging of these. I think the sentiment behind it as well is so, so lovely. And you do also get a card in here relating to a famous witch or wizard from the Harry Potter world. Now, the one I got in this box was Devlin Whitehorn, and it says here, Devlin Whitehorn created the Nimbus Racing Broom Company. He helped design Nimbus brooms, which revolutionised the game of Quidditch. A master flyer, he's a Quidditch fan who enjoys watching and playing the game whenever he can. And then for those of you curious, this is what it looks like. So it does look as though the person in the portrait is moving, and then on the back is where you have the information. And then as you saw, I did buy myself another one. I got the standard chocolate frog, guys. I love this so, so much. Again, the packaging is just something that draws me in, and I really wanted to see which card I'd get in this one. Now, you don't actually get to know which card you're going to be receiving in the boxes. It's a complete surprise. And obviously there were 2 chocolate frogs that I had bought, one for my sister, one for myself. And it was obviously a bit of a gamble to give her one before opening mine because I didn't want to give her something that had been opened. And I decided that I wasn't going to open this until I was back home. Now, she opened hers and she got a lesser known witch or wizard. I can't remember what it was, but imagine my surprise when I opened mine and I found this card in there. Now, sorry about the glare, but this is Gilderoy Lockhart, who is a very important figure in the Chamber of Secrets because he is a well-known author who takes up the role of Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher at Hogwarts for that year. On the back, it just says, Wizarding celebrity author Gilderoy Lockhart wrote many books on his encounters with dark creatures and received many prestigious awards, including Order of Merlin 3rd Class and honorary member of the Dark Force Defense League. After losing his memory in a series of unfortunate events, he released his final book entitled who am I? So lucky for me, I got the better card and I was very excited about it. But yeah, like I said, there was no way that we could have known, but I'm really glad that I did get this one, because if she'd have gotten it, I would have been a little bit upset, I'm not gonna lie. This is one though that I can show you because I haven't actually started eating this one yet. I will say this is the size of it. You do get a lump of chocolate. It's not hollow either, so there is a weight to it. And yeah, obviously I'm not going to take it out of the packaging to show you, but we have our chocolate frog in there. And like I said, I didn't want to eat this one yet, so that has just stayed in the packaging. Okay guys, we have finally made it to the pin section of this video, and I just want to say once again, I don't want any judgment, okay? These are the things that I told myself I was allowed to buy this trip, and I feel like each one is connected to a memory for me, so that when I see it on the wall on my corkboard, it's going to take me back to a certain point in time, and honestly that is the most important thing to me. So I do actually have a very big and heavy bag of pins here, and I don't have a clue where to start with these. So I think I'm just going to try and get them out and maybe pop them on the sofa beside me, because like I said, there are a lot. I think the majority of these are for Epic Universe actually, but I do have a couple that are not related to Epic. Right, I think what I'm going to do is start off with the pins from Universal Studios itself, and I'll hold off on showing you the ones from Epic Universe until after I've shown you those. I didn't actually realise either how many Harry Potter pins that I bought. It looks a bit excessive, but the thing is, you go into different shops and they have different pins, and so there are some that you've not seen before that you may like more than the ones you've already bought, and it's a bit of a nightmare when that happens, and that is exactly what happened to me with Super Nintendo World, which I will again get into later on. But spoiler alert, I did end up getting quite a few there. Now, the first pin I'm going to show you is the Universal Studios pin. There were a few designs for this actually, and I feel like I've played it safe, but I absolutely love this. I think it's so subtle but really striking, and it's just going to remind me of the time that we went to Universal Studios for the first time, and the globe outside Universal Studios is obviously so iconic, and I just thought that this would represent our trip there perfectly. Next up, we have a pin that actually refers to something that I've spoken about already in this video, which is one of my all-time favourite films, and that is Jaws. Now, this is what it looks like. We have a bottle there with the boat inside of it, and also the ocean and the shark Bruce, of course. And what's great about this is that the sand actually moves when you tip the bottle. Obviously I've tapped it there to show you properly, but yeah, I just thought that was so cool. I absolutely love this. It's a really nice pin. There were a few Jaws pins actually because of the fact that it was celebrating its 50th anniversary, but I was drawn to this one. I like the fact that it's in a bottle. It shows you the shark coming onto the boat. You can actually see our characters there as well. You can see Brody, I think it is, pointing at the shark, as well as Quint standing next to him, and yeah, the fact that the sand in here moves is just an added element that I thought was really fun. The next pin I got was for the first ride that we went on, which is Velocicoaster. Look how cool this is. I absolutely love this, and this is a really nice pin as well. There's a lot of weight to it, and it does have the raptor on there. This was such a phenomenal ride. I can see why it's so many people's favourites. It was definitely a firm favourite for us, and Tom and I actually got to go on the front row of this ride as well, which if you ever get the chance to, I would highly recommend, because it is such an amazing but absolutely crazy experience. And honestly, yeah, like I said, it's one of my new favourite rides ever. There is a price on this, so I can tell you how much it costs. This one was $12, and then I've just grabbed the Jaws one again. This one was $11. Now, one thing I will say is that the pins in Universal are a lot cheaper than they are at Walt Disney World. I feel like the average cost of a pin at Walt Disney World is around $16, so these were definitely a good price. The next pin I got is to represent another one of my favourite rides there, and another one of my favourite films, and that is Revenge of the Mummy. Now, hopefully you can see that properly without the glare, but how amazing is this? Now, we didn't actually find this in the shop after the ride. We found it in a little stall that was on City Walk in Universal. Tom just spotted it kind of out of nowhere, and I had to buy it because I loved the ride so much. And again, The Mummy is one of my all-time favourite films. For those of you who don't know, I recently went to Egypt as well because I love Egypt and Egyptology so much, and The Mummy plays a very big role in that love. And yeah, going on the ride, I didn't know what to expect, and honestly, it was such an amazing experience. It is so different to anything that I've been on before, and again, it is one of our new favourite rides because it was just insane. I am actually really surprised that they didn't have this in the store from what we could see, because I obviously would have bought it there again, but yeah, luckily Tom found this one for me and I knew I just had to buy it straight away. This one, for reference again, was $11, which is so cheap considering the fact that there are actually some like dangly bits on there. And yeah, I'm very, very happy that I found this one because I was a bit gutted that there wasn't a ride specific one for this ride at that shop. And then looking at the rest of the pile, these are all Harry Potter pins. Now, I actually didn't think I was going to buy this many pins. And again, I saw some of them on the first day that we were at Universal. I saw some of them on the second day that we were at Universal. And then I also saw one or two of them whilst we were at the airport that weren't at any of the shops I'd been to at Universal. So the first one that I bought was actually at the same time as I bought the chocolate frogs. It was $15, which is a little bit on the steeper side for Universal, but you'll see why in a second, because it is this chocolate frog pin. Now this is hefty, guys. It is big. If I can just show you how thick it is, maybe you'll be able to appreciate it, but this is massive. And not only that, but you can actually open it and inside there is a chocolate frog. How crazy is that? And do you want to know what the most special part is, guys? Is that this smells of chocolate. I'm not even kidding you right now. It's so cool. And yeah, $15 for this pin just blew my mind. It is a massive one. And I will say it's not travelled the best home, but I thought it was such a nice pin to have. I'm not sure if it's going to stay on the corkboard because of the weight of it, but I'm going to give it a go. And yeah, I absolutely love this one. It looks like the box for the chocolate frog, and the fact that it actually opens and you do have a frog in there. It's just so cute. I absolutely love it. The next two Harry Potter pins are the ones that I bought on our second day at Universal. I think we had just come off the Gringotts ride, which, oh my goodness, was fantastic. And so whilst there wasn't a ride specific one for that, I did decide to pick these up for myself. The first I was just drawn to because it's a nod to all of the houses. They are very small pins, but we have the Hogwarts crest in the middle here, and then we do have our 4 houses. We have Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff and Slytherin, and I just thought that this was a really lovely set of pins to have. This one was $17, which again is steeper, but you do get 5 pins in here technically. And I absolutely love this because I always struggle in terms of which house I want to buy merch for, because I am a Gryffindor according to Pottermore, but I do feel like I'm more of a Ravenclaw. I do have some aspects of Hufflepuff and Slytherin as well, and so I feel like just having all of them here is a really nice idea. It's a nice nod to all of the houses, and yeah, they're very small as well, so not too bulky, and I just really like the look of them. And then very differently, one that is a bit bigger and bulkier is the Hogwarts Castle. Look at this, guys. How stunning is this? I could not leave that there, especially because of how emotional I got seeing the castle in person. It's just beautiful. This was only $12, which again is so cheap. I love it so much. I've stared at it so many times since, and this is actually one that I did buy my sister as well in the end because I knew she'd love it, and she is desperate to go to Orlando to go to the Harry Potter sections as well, so I wanted to bring her something back from there that would mean something to her. And then the second pin that I bought on that second day is this one. It looks very basic, which honestly it is, but it does just say on it, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Universal Studios. And again, it's just a nice little nod to the fact that I've been there. This one was $11, so again, one of the cheaper pins, and I really do like collecting pins of places that I've been to. This is another one that I did get for my sister, and she really appreciated me getting this for her as well. And then the last pin is the one I got at the airport, and I will say I actually bought the pins for my sister at the airport as well. I didn't buy them at the parks, but then whilst I was at the airport I thought, do you know what, it's going to be really nice for her to receive something different to the chocolate, because once you eat the chocolate it's gone, and I wanted her to have something that she could look at and keep for a while. And so yeah, that's why I decided to get her the pins there. But I had seen this one, which again I hadn't seen at Universal at all, and this I feel like was such a big part of our trip that I just couldn't leave it there. This is the pin that I bought, and for those of you who don't know, this is Gringotts Bank, and it also has the dragon on top of it. Now if you've seen the films you'll know what this refers to, but when you walk into Diagon Alley I feel like one of the first things you see is the dragon. It is there, it is on top of Gringotts Bank, and every, I think it's 10 or 15 minutes or so, it does blow fire. And honestly, the amount of times that we've stopped to just stare at this dragon, I can't even tell you, because it happened quite a lot. It is so cool, it's so lifelike, and it also plays a big part in the Gringotts ride as well. And so yeah, when I saw it there, I thought it was so cool. Tom also really, really loved it, and I thought I would be stupid if I just left it there, because again, it'll remind me of the time that we walked down Diagon Alleys, saw the dragon, and also rode the Gringotts ride. This one was $16, which, as you can appreciate, it is a very big pin, so I didn't mind paying that much. But yeah, absolutely love this one, and I'm really happy that I did find it at the airport of all places. And then the last load of pins that I have are all for Epic Universe. I've probably said it throughout this video, but this is the park that we were the most excited to visit, and I knew that I was going to buy a bit of merch here, which I did, and honestly it's fine because I love every single thing, and again, it'll remind me of the day that we had at Epic, which was such an amazing day. I'm just going to stick with Harry Potter for now because I have just shown you the generic Harry Potter pins that I bought, but the lovely lady there wrapped these up beautifully for me, so I haven't actually seen these since I decided to buy them at Epic Universe. So the first pin I got is for Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, which, if you don't know, is the big Harry Potter ride at Epic Universe. There is only one ride there, which is such a shame, but there are interactive elements throughout Paris, which is where this is set. But this ride is so popular. We went on it first thing in the morning. I think we ended up queuing about an hour, maybe more. I can't remember off the top of my head. It definitely wasn't anything as crazy as I've seen though. I think it's gone up to 4 hours at one point, which is just insane. But yeah, we managed to get on it, we managed to ride it, and it was so good. So when we came off it, I did decide to buy myself a pin of the ride to obviously remember this experience, and this is what it looks like. Now I will say it's not my favourite pin of all time, but I do like it. I like the kind of dark aspect to it because, for those of you who don't know, the premise of the ride is that we are about to go into the trial of Dolores Umbridge, who is an awful character in this universe, and along the way things happen and you need to battle a few dark foes and yeah, make sure that Dolores actually makes it to the trial. So there's definitely a darker tone to it. It's set in the Ministry of Magic as well, which is why we have the M and the kind of emerald colouring there. But yeah, absolutely love the ride. I had to get myself a pin, and I'm very happy to have found this one. The next pin is one that I didn't actually spot until right at the very end of the day. I don't know how I missed it the first time round, but I did, and luckily I went back into the shop and I spotted it. This is such a stunning pin. I absolutely love it, and what's even more special is that it's a limited edition release because it does say grand opening on the pin itself. This is going to be very hard to show you because of the glare. Hopefully you can see that properly, but we have our trio here from the Harry Potter films, and we also have Newt here from the Fantastic Beasts films, and then we have this hanging piece on it here which says Ministry of Magic, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it does say grand opening on here as well, which obviously refers to the fact that Universal's Epic Universe has just opened in 2025. Now I did already have that first Harry Potter pin, but I couldn't leave this one behind. I absolutely love it. The fact that it refers to the grand opening is so special, and it's a limited release, which means that in a few months it's not going to be there, so I did grab this for myself when I saw it there. It's a hefty pin as well. It's actually $18, but again, it's a limited release, so I would expect that from Universal. The next pins I'm going to show you are both from the Isle of Berk. I mentioned earlier how much I love How to Train Your Dragon, and I was not going to leave there without a pin. The first one I got is this one. It has the Isle of Berk on there, and it does also say this is Berk. We also have Hiccup and Toothless on the front there, and what I didn't actually realise at the time that I bought this is that it's an extendable pin. Now I'm probably going to struggle to show you guys, but there we are. There's a hinge on there, and you can actually pull it down so it looks like this. I don't know how I'm going to display it personally, but that's a really cool element to it. And again, I love this pin so much. I love that we have Berk and our main characters on there, and I loved the artwork as well. So yeah, this is a special one for me, and it's one that I really do like. This one was $16. Again, it's a bit bigger and it has a little interactive element there. And then the second one is one that I love. I specifically wanted a toothless pin, and again, Tom's the one that found this one for me, so without Tom I wouldn't have had a lot of these pins, so very grateful that he was paying attention. But we did find Toothless. I love him so much. He is honestly the cutest, and unfortunately we didn't get to meet Toothless this time around, but it's on the agenda for the next time that we go because we will definitely be going back. And yeah, even though I did get my little Toothless plushie, I wanted to get a pin as well because I just love him so much. Now there wasn't actually a pin that I could find for Dark Universe anywhere, which I was gutted about because that's the only world that I don't have a pin for. before. So the next world that I'm going to talk about is Super Nintendo World. Now, I went a bit crazy here because, as I said, there were a few pins that I bought in different places that weren't at other places, and I ended up with 4 pins. So the first one I'm going to show you is one that I bought on the first night we were there at the Helios Grand Hotel. I saw this one there, I thought I would buy it there and then to save me from buying one the next day, and I really like this one because it has a load of the characters on there, and I just thought it was really nice. So this is what it looks like. It is sparkly. Like I said, it has all the characters on there, and it's just a really nice pin. This one was $15, so a little bit pricier, but yeah, I really like this. Then when I went into Super Nintendo World, I saw this one, and again, I just thought it was really nice. And I thought, yes, this one has the characters on there, but this one has Mario and the mystery box. And if you've ever played a Mario game, you'll know how important these are in the games, and I just thought, I've got to get it. So I ended up getting myself this one as well, and I love the fact that he's under it punching it because Tom and I did the exact same pose when we went there and found a mystery box, and honestly it was just such a good time. So I did get this one as well, and this one was $10, so a little bit cheaper at least. Then we had a change of plan. We weren't going to do the Mario Kart ride because a lot of people had mixed opinions on it, but the wait time dropped down to, I think it was like 60 minutes, and we thought, you know what, whilst we're here, we're going to give it a go. And I'm really glad that we did because it was a load of fun. When you come out of that ride, you come into a shop, and the first thing I saw was a Mario Kart pin. Now, as you've seen, I do like to get pins of the rides that I've been on, and I couldn't get one for Donkey Kong, I don't think, which is why I decided to get one for Mario Kart instead. This is what it looks like. I actually really do like this one, and yeah, the fact that we played Mario Kart in real life was really special. Tom and I have both grown up with all of these games, but Super Mario Kart in particular has been such a big part of our childhood. So yeah, being able to take part in the ride and play the game ourselves was so cool, so special, and I wanted to get a pin to remember that by. And then the last one wasn't in any of the Super Nintendo World shops. It was in the big shop as you enter or exit Epic Universe by the Epic Universe portal. And again, this caught my eye because it is almost exactly the same as the Harry Potter pin that I showed you in terms of the design. It is a limited edition release. It says grand opening on it, and it also has the Super Nintendo World logo on there. So I had to get it. Now this is what it looks like. How cool is that? It also has a bunch more characters on there, such as Donkey Kong, as you can see, and I just loved it so much, and I couldn't leave it there because again, it's a limited edition release. I love the artwork and the fact that all our characters are there, and so I did end up purchasing this one for myself. It was $18, so again, it's definitely one of the most expensive pins that I bought. But we have Diddy Kong on there, we have Donkey Kong Country, we have Bowser's Castle there, and I just thought it was such a nice little nod to Super Nintendo World. There is a lot of detail on there referring to the world in Epic Universe itself as well, and yeah, I just couldn't leave it. So that is how I ended up with 4 pins for Super Nintendo World. It is a bit excessive, I'm aware of that. If I had it my way, I would have just bought the Mario Kart pin and the limited edition release pin, but these were the 2 that I saw last, which is just typical, isn't it? So I do now have 4. I'm not too mad about it, I'm not gonna lie, because I love Super Mario and that whole world and universe, but yeah, I'm just really annoyed that I do have 4 pins because I wasn't planning on buying 4 pins for this specific world. And then the last 2 things I have to show you are the, I guess, generic Epic Universe pins. So I know I said earlier that there wasn't a Dark Universe specific pin, and that is true. However, I did get this one. Absolutely love it. Again, this is another limited edition pin, so I feel like in a few months it might not be available, and I would have been gutted to come home without this one. Look at how stunning this is, you guys. It's a big pin and it has all of the different worlds there. We even have Celestial Park at the bottom, and this here is Dark Universe, which I haven't been able to show you anything for, but how stunning. I love the design, the colours, everything about it. And the thing is as well, I really wanted to get a t-shirt with this on because there were some there, but I refrained because we'd already bought this t-shirt. So I'm really glad that they released a pin because I love this. It's so special, and again, it's going to remind me of one of the best days of my life. And then the last thing I have to show you in this haul, I feel like this has been going on for so long, I do apologise, but it's actually one that we did buy the night before at the Helios again. I saw it there, I fell in love with it, and I really wanted to get it, and there was actually a magnet as well that Tom wanted to buy, but for some reason he didn't that night, and then unfortunately we didn't get it the next day either. So we are happy that I bought this pin because the design is exactly the same, and it is this Epic Universe pin. Now I'm really hoping that that is showing up properly on camera because it is stunning in person. It is actually a similar design to this logo, if not the same, but obviously we have more elements to the pin, and yeah, I just love it so much. I love the celestial vibes. I think this is a gorgeous pin. It's not too in your face, it seems quite subtle, but I just love it so much. This one was $17, so again a bit on the pricier side, but it is a chunky pin. I feel like you do get a lot from it, and honestly I absolutely love it, so it's fine. So there we have it, guys. Those are all the things that I bought from Universal Studios in Florida. Of course, they were spread out across the 3 different parks that they had, and I am obsessed with every single thing that I bought. Did I go overboard in some places? Yes, but as I said, this was such a special trip for me. I'd rather that I'd bought stuff whilst I was there than regret it afterwards. And yeah, like I said, they all mean something to me, and I'm really happy with what I got, and I'm so grateful that I got to go this year and visit it with my partner, who I've been with for 8 years. It's been a dream of ours to go away to Universal and Walt Disney World ever since we got together, really. So 8 years on, we've finally done it, and it was just perfect. It was so amazing. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please go ahead and leave me a globe emoji down in the comments. Of course, the globe symbolises Universal perfectly, and it's one of the main things that you think about when you think of Universal. So I feel like that is a very fitting emoji to sum up this video. I know I say it all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. It blows me away that you guys watch these all the way through. So if you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please go ahead and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video, and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!